Alright, we need to have a serious conversation right now because what's unfolding across the Midwest is absolutely massive. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that travel is about to become nearly impossible for millions of people. The data that's come in over the last 24 hours has completely changed the game. Snowfall totals are now trending significantly higher than what we were originally forecasting. We're no longer talking about a moderate winter storm. We're talking about a major event that's going to bury cities from South Dakota all the way to Michigan. And it's happening right in the middle of the post-Thanksgiving. It's travel rush when everyone's trying to get home. Let me be crystal clear about something from the start. This is not hype, this is not clickbait, and this is not me trying to sensationalize the forecast. This is a legitimate, classic, long-duration winter storm setup that's already in motion. And the confidence level among meteorologists is extremely high. When you see winter storm warnings covering nearly the entire Midwest, stretching from Montana all the way to northwestern Ohio, you know this is the real deal. The National Weather Service doesn't issue warnings like this unless they're absolutely certain about what's coming. And what's coming is going to be historic for some of these areas. Tonight is when everything begins to deteriorate rapidly. Snow is already starting to fill in across the Dakotas, Iowa, and Missouri as I'm recording this. Most of it is light to moderate right now, but don't let that fool you. By midnight tonight, snow is going to blanket all of Iowa, northern Missouri, western Illinois, and southern Minnesota. This is going to start causing problems on the roadways, but the real nightmare doesn't begin until tomorrow morning. That's when this storm truly shows its teeth and transforms into something much more powerful and dangerous. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. By tomorrow morning, heavy snow is going to absolutely explode across the region. Look at what the models are showing us. Dark blue areas are lighting up across Iowa, Nebraska, and even St. Louis, indicating where snowfall accumulation is going to rapidly increase. We're talking about snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour in some locations. Let me repeat that so it sinks in. 2 to 3 inches per hour? That's the kind of rate where road crews can't keep up, where visibility drops to near zero, and where you can literally watch the snow pile up in real time right before your eyes. Later tomorrow morning is when the worst impacts are going to be felt across Iowa and Illinois. Heavy snowfall is going to intensify, but on top of that, we're going to have very strong wind gusts taking over. This creates the perfect recipe for blowing and drifting snow, and in some areas we could see near blizzard conditions develop. I need you to understand what that means for travel. We're talking about situations where you literally cannot see the road in front of you, where cars get stuck and stranded for hours, where emergency responders can't reach people who need help. This is serious. Life-threatening weather if you're caught out in it unprepared. Here's what makes this particularly challenging. Tomorrow is one of the busiest travel days of the week under normal circumstances. But this isn't a normal weekend. We just had Thanksgiving, which means thousands upon thousands of people are still trying to get home after visiting family. The roadways are going to be busy regardless of the warnings, and that's what concerns me most. People are going to try to travel through this. And that's when accidents happen, when people get stranded, when situations turn dangerous very quickly. By midday tomorrow, the heaviest snow shifts into southern Iowa and central and western Illinois. This is where those incredible 3-inch per hour snowfall rates are going to set up. It's going to be absolutely relentless. Almost all of Iowa is going to be dealing with continuous snowfall all morning long, which means the accumulation is just going to keep building and building. Some areas in Iowa could see as much as 18 inches of snow by the time this is all said and done. That's 1.5 feet of snow, and for context, you haven't seen many significant winter storms in the Midwest over the past 3 years. This is going to be one of the most significant events in recent memory, during the late morning and early afternoon hours tomorrow. Something interesting happens that's going to determine who gets buried in snow and who doesn't. The snow is going to start lifting northward as warm and moist air pushes up from the Gulf of Mexico. This is bad news for areas like St. Louis and most of central and northern Missouri, because you're going to transition from pure snow into a snow-rain mix. Any snow that does accumulate is going to be very slushy and wet, and you're going to lose out on the big totals. I know that's disappointing if you love snow, but that warm air is going to ruin what could have been a major snowstorm for your area. The northern and western sides of this storm are where the most significant snowfall is going to occur. By early afternoon tomorrow, very heavy snow is going to be absolutely pounding central and eastern Iowa and northwestern Illinois. Chicago is really going to start ramping up during the afternoon hours as well. If you're in Milwaukee or anywhere in southern Wisconsin, you're going to start with light snow in the morning, but it's going to become much more steady and moderate by afternoon. The snowfall accumulation is really going to pile up mainly during the afternoon and evening hours for you, as we approach sunset tomorrow around 4 to 5 o'clock. A lot of the heavy snowfall will be centered across northern Illinois. Most of Iowa will be down to light snow by this point, but don't think the storm is over. By tomorrow evening, snow is going to be blanketing the entire Great Lakes region. Wisconsin is still going to have snowfall late tomorrow night. Northern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and northwestern Pennsylvania are going to start seeing snow by that time as well. However, this is when the storm dynamics start to change in a way that's actually going to limit snowfall in some areas. The low-pressure system is going to speed off very quickly to the northeast, and it's going to become less organized as it does so. This means snowfall accumulation late tomorrow evening and into the day after is going to be a lot less significant than what we're seeing across the core Midwest. If you're in New York, Pennsylvania, or Ohio, I don't think we're talking about major snowfall accumulation from the main storm system. However, there will be some localized areas that could pick up over 6 inches, particularly where lake effect snow bands set up. The upper peninsula of Michigan and areas downwind of the Great Lakes could see an additional 3 to 6 inches from lake effect alone. Let me address something I've heard some people saying about this storm being a blizzard. While we're going to get a lot of snow, this is not technically going to be a blizzard in most areas. It's not a bombing cyclone, and surface winds aren't going to be the main story here. Now, I do think it's possible we could gust above 35 to 45 miles per hour at times, which is enough to cause blowing and drifting snow, but sustained winds are likely not going to be extreme. This is going to be a steady, confident storm rather than an explosive one. Here's what I'm really confident about. Anywhere from Des Moines to Cedar Rapids, Davenport over to Rockford and up towards Madison and Milwaukee. You're in the bullseye where 10 to 16 inches of snow is definitely possible. Some places might sneak out with even more than 16 inches. If you're in central Illinois around Peoria or Springfield, we're probably talking about 5 to 10 or 6 to 12 inches in that range. Madison, Wisconsin is looking at 12 to 14 inches. The Twin Cities area is going to be trickier because it depends on how much moisture makes it that far north. But 3 to 6 inches would be a safe bet. Chicago's northwestern suburbs are going to see the highest totals. Probably 10 to 14 inches, with a bit of lake enhancement adding to those numbers. Milwaukee is in a similar situation where the northwestern side of town is going to see higher amounts. Detroit might sneak away with a bit more than 6 inches. Grand Rapids, I think 8 to 14 inches is a good bet, especially when you include the lake effect that happens afterwards. Lansing is looking at 6 to 10 inches. While the heavy snow is hammering the Midwest and Great Lakes, the South is going to have its own weather story to deal with. We're going to see heavy rain, possible flooding, and maybe even some severe weather tomorrow. Strong storms could pop up around Dallas and Houston, and some of these could produce strong winds, large hail, and even an isolated tornado risk. I'm going to be here all weekend tracking every single development. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any updates. Stay safe out there, everyone. Take this seriously and please don't take unnecessary risks with travel. Thanks for watching.